Very often, we can think about money in two different ways. On one hand, we can have such a strong attachment to money that we make an idol out of it. And on the other hand, we can grow apathetic toward money so that saving it or thinking about the way we spend it doesn't matter to us anymore. But what way does Jesus say we should think about money? Is it one of these two extremes, or is it somewhere in the middle? I think as followers of Jesus, we want to learn how to handle money well, but because we know that money can lead to lots of stress, greed, and sin, we're not always sure what to do with it. But what if Jesus has an important purpose for our money? Look at this story that Jesus tells about a rich man and a poor man in Luke, chapter 16, verses 19 through 22. Jesus said, "There was a certain rich man who was splendidly clothed in purple and fine linen, and who lived each day in luxury. At his gate lay a poor man named Lazarus, who was covered with sores. As Lazarus lay there, longing for scraps from the rich man's table, the dogs would come and lick his open sores. Finally, the poor man died and was carried by the angels to sit beside Abraham at the heavenly banquet. The rich man also died and was buried." So we've got a rich man who has far more than he'll ever need, and Lazarus, who seems to be malnourished and has no place to live. We can take this story in a lot of different directions, but what I want to point out today is that this rich man missed a great opportunity. The rich man had so much more than he needed, and yet in this story, he keeps it to himself. But take a moment to think about this situation. Who could have benefited more from all of the extra money that the rich man has? Sure, the rich man was able to have nicer things with more money. However, in this story, Lazarus doesn't seem to have much at all. Imagine all the ways the rich man could have helped Lazarus get back on his feet with all the resources at his disposal. So why didn't the rich man help Lazarus? According to verse 20 even, Lazarus was just by the rich man's front gate, so he probably walked by Lazarus on a frequent basis. There could be a number of reasons why the rich man never helped Lazarus. There's one reason I want to talk about today. It seems like the rich man simply got used to Lazarus being at his gate and started to tune him out. Now, before we start pointing fingers at the rich man in this story, we really need to put ourselves in his shoes. Very often we're in situations like the rich man was. We've been blessed with so much, and there are lots of people around us we have opportunities to help. The problem is, it's easy for us to get used to seeing so many needs around us, and we start to tune them out. But Jesus told this story because he doesn't want his followers to tune out the needs and opportunities to bless others, but to have our eyes open to the ways that we can serve, care for, and be generous towards others. This is not always easy to do, but Jesus sets a great example for us by being a model of generosity. 2 Corinthians 8:9 says, "You know the generous grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. Though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that by his poverty he could make you rich." So here is your challenge for today. Be generous like Jesus, and keep your eyes open to the opportunities that arise. When you see a need, I want you to ask yourself, how can I use my money or resources to be a part of a solution for this? Jesus calls us to have our eyes open to the needs and opportunities around us so that we can be a light and share love to everyone around us. So now go and win today.